G'day, this is Captainoob, and in this video I'm going to be attempting to solo Earl with a pistol build, specifically a Gunslinger build, so no using automatic pistols here. In collaboration with OXY76, we thought we'd challenge ourselves by seeing how far we could actually push our pistol builds. Now, he's taking the route of using Gorilla, which means automatic pistols, so he's using a very powerful 10mm, which has extremely high DPS compared to what I'm using, which is a bloody lucky Gauss pistol, one of the first ones I actually rolled. So I think the difference in times to kill or to finish the event is going to be staggering. Now, I think I cheated a little bit by having a few chems, but if Oxy happened to have a couple of chems in his, then I guess that's all fair, and he took a few. But I think what the difference is going to be absolutely staggering, because the amount of DPS that you can notice when using the 10mm versus any basic semi-automatic pistol is enormous. And I think Oxy's going to belt my time, but we'll have to see how we go anyway. So we'll get right into the Colossal problem. I recorded the whole fight, so if you feel bored or want to speed it up a little bit, you can use your YouTube to, put it in ×2 speed so you can see the fight a little bit. I do commentate over, and yeah, don't do a challenge. Don't take a shot every time I say damage over time, because you will die. Okay, we're less than 20 seconds from starting now. We've got all our unyielding gear activated at Nerd Rage. Important thing to point out is this luck at 35. So that means I'll be getting crits every second shot with Critical Savvy. You'll note that I've got a bunch of these perks for better criticals anyway. Demolition Expert is up. And my legendary perks are as such. Going to be using a Gauss pistol for this one in fact, so we'll just get some crits going, I suppose, and don't use them just yet. I guess we'll just build some adrenaline. I think now there's usually another one that's up in the mines here. Might as well pick him up before we hop down there. This fight will be mostly without using chems, but if it really comes down to it, I'm probably just going to speed it up a little bit, because I think we've got the damage and the time to do it, but we just don't have the pace like you would with an automatic pistol build. But we'll see how we go. We're going to hit for pretty hard. We've got a 3x sneak multiplier, an additive bonus, thanks to the Mr. Sandman perk, that one. That's active right now. As you can tell, we're getting varying damage. It varies from 100 to 6, and yeah, okay. So that's just his, like, weird, funky damage resistance that I noticed when I first started fighting him. Like, you'll hit him once, and your next couple of shots on him will just be completely shrugged off. Although that might just be the criticals doing that. That was very close, but we're off to a decent start here. Ideally, I'd like to cripple this guy, and what I could have done is chuck on Modern Renegade just to get that done, but I kind of want to carry as much adrenaline as I can into this, and there's no real time to swap out that perk now that we're this far into it. We'll try to maintain this bonus of damage as much as we can. A lot of the damage on this will be done thanks to good old follow through, and we can read his attacks easily, so we know when he's going to attack, what he's going to do. And we're not hitting him really often enough for him to track me really well. And as soon as his face is being crippled here, his perception will be much lessened. And he's been standing around in one spot for a while, so he's actually hucked a loogie down on the ground there. Really, really close. We've got some peanuts that have spawned in, which we might want to utilize just to get a little bit of adrenaline going. Bit of gun through, perhaps. Jumping over his projectiles like they're nothing. See, I'm hitting these guys for over 1,000, which I think is fairly significant. Managed to get a far-flung fireworks kill on that guy. And now we're carrying a little bit of adrenaline, which allows us to get a bit more damage. Let's just offset that stupid damage over time. And I keep losing VATS lock-ons, and I don't know why. It's actually quite frustrating, because I don't want to keep spamming the Q button. Apparently, Earl's just buggered off into the middle of nowhere, so we have to lure him back. Now, this loogie over here has disappeared, so do that. Kill him like that. And his face is now crippled now, so his perception stat is lowered. We've almost got him crippled at this point. I mean, regenerating. And what I want to do is carry a little bit of gun fu bonus into this next attack. Next VATS run. Have to, he spat the damage over time, Loogie right there. So unfortunately, cop to that, but that's okay. I've got a shit ton of stim packs just from doing daily ops, really. And these guys will provide it if I happen to run out, which I severely doubt it. And again, the VATS camera just breaks lock again, which is really not great. Now, the green damage over time, you don't have to worry about as much. The red one will slow you down severely. And one thing I didn't remember to bring in was my asbestos line chest piece. There we go. There's VATS breaking lock once again. And there we go. He's mutated. Now, what I'd like to do here is maybe switch just to get him nice and pinned, because, you know, as I'm running around here, I'm likely to run into this nonsense like I've just did then, despite being nowhere fucking near it. But that's just kind of the way this fight goes. We're only just narrowly dodging his attacks. You can have your buttons mapped to allow you to jump at the same time. If you're using a third-party controller on console, I know you can definitely do that. That was a method that they used to try to speed kill Earl, back when the multiplicative damage was still a thing. But, couldn't beat my score, could ya? Anyways, so we'll keep going. Might actually just grab some of these buffs now, because this is taking way too long, so we'll try to carry as much damage as possible. We're getting an extra 100 per shot. Whether that's worth it is up to you, I guess. But these buffs will carry for a little bit. And there's no reason not to grab something like Chem Fiend these days, because you really got to scrape and dig deep for the damage. And there's yet another annoying damage over time thing. We've got 2 on the field right now. Something for me to dodge around. Come on, concentrated fire, do your thing. Getting a bit close. Make sure we move out of the way before his next attack. There we go. Whilst we're in the lulls of his attack, we might as well make use of that. And once he's going for it again, completely get out of dodge. A little bit close now. Risky, very risky to be standing right under him. And then he spits on the ground yet again. See, the only time where I'm actually getting whacked is just basic RNG. Now, I could obviously, keep my distance from him, but I need to keep a balance on where my suppressor is actually going to be effective, and I'm really on the edge of that even when he's standing that far away, because you'll notice how I'm not getting perfect VATS accuracy either, despite having concentrated fire and my perception at 36 or whatever. Just quickly abort out of that little move there. Now I'd like to quickly get around this. We're taking a few unnecessary rads here. Might have to shave a few off with right away. Would be very not ideal. Now we did actually get hit there. Luckily, serendipity had our backs. Managed to take some more damage over time from something. It's just Game of Thrones, Game of Dot for damage over time. Now he's buggered off into the high heavens. He'll come running back though, and we've almost got his face crippled. Now we know where not to stand. He's actually managed to put those in the same place, which is useful because that means the margin for error, I think, is significantly lowered. If we happen to still take this damage over time whilst he's going, also take a shot every time I mention that and we'll die. Come on. Might just pop in here for a spell. And there he goes again. And now that's opened up. We just kind of want to step around that. And I'm doing some Radex, I think. His face is crippled. Bye-bye perception. Hello, sneaky times. Get that lock-on going again. Got plenty of AP regen, so we don't have to worry about that too much. He's hucked that loogie there. Very good. Don't know how we're doing on the condition of this thing. Not too bad. Pre-condition fix patch, this thing would have had to been repaired halfway through. Fuck, he's quick, isn't he? He's got himself in the damage over time fountain there, which is good news. Anything to grab more damage, and I think our chems have just about worn off now, so we might want to reapply those. Psycho Tats, and then a bit of overdrive along that. Now, probably could have considered chucking on like a, what do you call it, maybe a bobblehead of some description, and make sure we zone, get ourselves stuck over there. See, I'm not actually hitting him frequent enough to... Oops. What's he going to do? Where's he going to go? Okay. Okay, now his face is indeed crippled. And if you cripple one of his heads, it's all the same limb, so they'll all be crippled. Now, ideally, the tactical advantage of that would be he'd stop spitting at you. And we almost got detected then, and we just did. That's okay. He's called for reinforcements. Still in danger, however. Still in danger. Ooh, back in the caution. Could potentially be a tactical advantage calling those guys in for a little bit of adrenaline. Cheeky little far-flung firework proc there. Take that guy out. Almost there. It's been a long fight. One would say it's dragged on a little bit too long, but we're making it. Gotta at least have a fucking 10-minute fight about it, right? Gotta extend those YouTube views out. And then I just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time and then fucking died. It's a pretty standard run here at Earl. But that's okay because we can respawn and pop right back in again before he fucks off and starts to regenerate, hopefully. Alright. We've regenerated a little bit there, and worse, we've taken a little bit of, he's actually regenerated instead, not me. Well, actually, it's a problem that we've regenerated too, because we are now officially out of Nerd Rage. Chems are still active, however. Whether it's worth it to just have a fucking 10 mil on hand just to cripple the guy, that might actually be a better tactical use of my perk loadout here, because adrenaline was a great thing to start off with, but it hasn't gotten us too far doing much else here. We're out of AP again. We're getting slightly less regen thanks to Nerd Rage. Ooh, God. Kinda stuck here. Alright, Nerd Rage is now active again. I would definitely consider a Gunslinger to be a extremely underpowered build in this game. Next to like a stealth commando or even a melee, I mean, that was not ideal, was it? It's okay. Plenty of stims. Just wrong place, wrong time. There's no real skill involved, just a bit of RNG nonsense, but that's okay. They love that over in this game. Alright, he's kind of standing over there, which works for me because that allows me to get plenty of shots. And we've used about 300 rounds, which I must say is not too bad. And we must account that he's got a little bit of extra health thanks to that regeneration that I allowed him to do. Has he got himself stuck on the drill? Fuck, I reckon he has. Well, that's good. You keep sitting there and getting your ass fucking grounded. Oh, he's out. And now we've got ourselves crippled there, which immediately took us out of sneaking. We'll try to get them all at once with far-flung firework, because, you know, what limited crowd control performance you can get out of a Gauss pistol can be greatly increased by a perk like that, if you were so lucky to get it. So playing Wendigos around, it's the third or fourth little reinforcement call, crony booty call that he's done. You can't tell me these aren't women. I feel like we're in danger, we indeed are. So get ready for stagger times 1,000,000,000. So let's just reposition here. Hopefully we don't get spat on. I can hear them all running, but there we go. Just got spat on. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it. Probably wouldn't happen. Alrighto. Carry this adrenaline, this gun through. Ended up catching some stupid damage over time again. So couldn't make perfect use out of it. Oh, it's because he put it right fucking there. Yeah, alright. Alright. Cheeky little proc of that. We may continue. So close now. Tell you what, despite melee being like powerful and how it was before, I don't think I could have done this with Becca using my unarmed build that I've got. And that really says something about the state of this. And I think Oxy would have absolutely belted the time, even if he decided not to do many chems along with it. But that's just kind of the difference between automatics. Like, you're sacrificing, you know, damage per bullet for DPS, and I think the equation here is simple. The higher DPSs, it offsets itself. Meaning, sure, the cost is more, but the time to kill so much less. Very close there. Almost took another geyser. Managed to stomp in this one. I think I held my position there a little bit too long. You kind of got to be a little bit more fluid when you're fighting Earl, especially when you aren't pinning him in place. 500. Say goodnight, Earl. This will probably do you in. If I actually get the hit on. Alright. Let's got him. And let's see what we've won from that struggle. Wouldn't catch me bragging about that time either. It wasn't all that impressive. But there you go. You can certainly solo Earl with a Gunslinger build, but you know, you gotta learn how to play this event. You gotta learn how to counter his moves. You gotta learn how to read his behavior and everything. So it's something that might have a little bit of a learning curve, and a build which is highly specialized for doing as much damage as possible, like mine. We were holding an invisible gun for a second. But yeah, totally possible. For your average player that doesn't have highly optimized gear and builds that would allow them to output that much damage, you might struggle a little bit, but that's just the way it is. And we get a couple of those. We're actually max caps right now. And now to get the fuck out of here. You might want to do it right away before you go out, because sometimes you just kind of get stuck and you're sitting there for 2-3 seconds taking the full brunt of rads. And we get a bolstering Secret Service chest piece with strength and the ability to breathe underwater, and a cursed harpoon gun. Great script to weight ratio, very nice. Might be scripting that bolstering thing as well. Don't really see the point of using it when my gear is built around an unyielding approach. 8 treasury notes is certainly a nice thing to have though. And well done, Brooke. Managed to make a build that is known for being super underpowered into something that can solo endgame bosses. We just don't talk about how long it took for us to actually do it. Really not in the mood for you, mole rat. Get out of here. Stupid mole rats. So there you have it, a little bit of a glimpse into how powerful a Gunslinger build can be if you've completely min-maxed the crap out of it, and how, compared to what it was before, well, the damage nerf hasn't done well for any builds except for maybe Stealth Commander, because Stealth Commander was that powerful anyway that you could get away with doing it. Melee, on the other hand, has been significantly underpowered and nerfed these days, so hopefully the next couple of fixes would, put that to, fix that and make that less of an annoying thing to do. But yeah, Gunslingers can do it. There's a lot of requirements to actually get yourself there, but it's certainly doable. You're not getting world record breaking speeds out of this, but it's certainly possible. So I guess we've succeeded here, right? Check out Oxy's channel. I'll leave it in the description. Hopefully I remember to do that. That's just a mental note for me. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you later.